So this is an AI that we built, but you can use ChatGPT as well and do a lot of this with a free version. We're just going to show you how we're using it to give you ideas. But regardless, after this training, or go back, watch it again, follow along, take a swing at these properties. And that's, you miss every swing you don't take. And with these videos, the ones that we show tend to go quick. So it's important to take action. So let's walk them through just kind of the basics of what you're doing here.
All right. So, yeah, one of the things too about AI is that you want to be very careful with the information that it gives you. And so a lot of the times, if you just ask it a question and it gives you a response, it's really good to have it reference the law or statutes for you. And the reason is that, sometimes it could be pulling information from the internet. There could be a lot of information out there that's not actually true. And so anytime, it tells me something, I want it to reference, statutes, the law in that state, because that's always what we got to go back to. And the reason that having this built custom is so helpful is because the prompts are correct. And so we have these different sections. And right here I have REI lawyer. And so this is going to be, set up the correct way. This is going to be accurate in what it gives me, which is helpful. And so I want to show you something that maybe not a lot of people know about. And so I saw one of the comments, we got someone from Florida. Yeah, Josh Battles from Florida. Good name, good state. And so in Florida, it is a tax lien state, but also a tax deed state. And so a tax lien holder usually gets the property. That's not the case in Florida, though. And so you get the interest on your property, but then it goes to a tax deed sale. And so every single Florida tax deed sale should actually have a free title search already done, because whoever has those liens, before it goes to a tax deed sale, they have to order a title search. And then everybody that's on title, they have to send them a notice that this is going to a tax deed sale unless someone pays the taxes. And so this is a huge tip that a lot of people don't actually know about in Florida. And so let me show you an example. Here is a property information report. And so this is for Sarasota County. And in here you've got, and again, for the algorithm, all of this is public data. So I got this online for free. I didn't pay for this. This was available by the county, from the county. Mind you, there is information in here that is not easily accessible, but this is free public record. And so on this, you've got all of the lien holders, the mortgage companies, any kind of municipal lien, any kind of like all of the deeds, everything is in here, which is wild. And so this would cost someone, I think it's like $250 is what they had to pay for this. So the tax lien holder already shelled out the money. It's incredibly kind of the county to allow us to access this. And so what you can do, because obviously coming in here and reading this, if you're starting out, this is going to look like gibberish, right? It's like, okay, what am I looking for? What are these special assessment liens? What are the red flags? And so obviously, if you went to school and studied this, or, you're an attorney or a lawyer or have experience reading legal documents, it's going to be no problem, right? But for everybody else, it's like, okay, what's going on here? And so what you can do with AI is I can go ahead, I can take this property information report, this title search that would normally cost $250 that we've got for free. I can then go ahead, throw it into the REI lawyer. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to drag that in here and say, I'm looking at purchasing this parcel at a tax deed sale. And let's also see what our strategy is. And so for a lot of people, especially if you're out of state, you can still buy these if you're out of state, which is great. But if you're out of state, you might not want to do a fix and flip, right? So my exit strategy is to simply offload this, invest as little money as possible. Is this a good deal from a title perspective? Are there any red flags, or would this be fairly clean for a tax deed sale? Give me advice. So it's going to go ahead. It's going to start going through the title report. Wow, that was actually quite quick. That was very surprising. Okay, so there we go. We've got a summary of the property status. We've got the assessed value, the total opening bid. Is it in a flood zone? It's out, not in a flood zone. So great. So there are ways to track down everything here, but it takes time. And I think time is more valuable than money. You got special assessments, mortgage lien, no title insurance. Of course, you can't get title insurance, for most properties. So tax deed title is not marketable, but we already know that. You can't buy a property at a tax sale and have a marketable title. So you can't get title insurance, but you can file a quiet title action, of course. So we use tax title services. We do have open liens remaining. So about $1,000 for trimming. So the thing is, a lot of people are afraid of the bigger things like the IRS, afraid of mortgages, but it's actually these kind of special assessments that get you. So in this case, it's just $1,000 for trimming, which, that's pretty expensive. If someone came and said, I'm going to trim your lawn, it'd probably like $250, but in this case, it's 1,000. Sometimes we've seen 30,000. So unusual chain of title. So then it lists all of the red flags, practical advice, and then is this a good deal? So then it gives us the amount actually, and saying, okay, if you get this for under $3,000 and you're okay with this, then you're good. And it's great because it gives you multiple choices. It's not just like, if you do this, or it's not a good deal, or it is a good deal. It's saying it could be a good deal at this price if you're okay with this, which is great. So you should not expect to flip to retail buyers or financeable buyers without cleaning title. And so it gives us final recommendations. So it's gone through, it's kind of scrubbed this whole thing. And then from there, we could interact back and forth. And so if there's something that I wasn't clear about, I could go ahead and ask it. And so, for instance, it says you got to be okay holding and waiting 4 years. So I don't want to hold onto it for 4 years. I don't want to spend money on a quiet title or tax title services. What are my other options if I purchase at your recommended price? So even if it gives you two options, you don't like either of them, we can at least kind of dialogue and have a good question or a good debate here. So it's just clarifying our constraints. So, and this is what I was hoping it would say, right? So sell via quitclaim deed as is. So that's great. And so we talk about that as well. How a lot of times if you're selling land at a cheap price, you probably would be able to offload it as is. Then it even says how to market it, suggested pricing. You could even assign your tax deed certificate pre or post auction, bundle, things like that. And then what not to do. Super helpful. And so starting out, as a beginner, to know these things, you're definitely not going to know these things. You're going to know these things either A, if you pay for training, or B, if you make mistakes. And so the AI can handle this, and we can talk about it, and it gives beautiful charts. Like, look at that, super sweet. So if I flip to an investor via quitclaim, speed, fast, cost, low, best option. I mean, this
Cool.
is unreal, unreal. There you go. That's how we're using it every day, and we're just conversing back and forth.
Nice.